Hello, this is Todd Luck, and as promised, Mattel has made some reveals for Masters of the Universe at San Diego Comic-Con. Now, there's not a whole lot for the movie. They did show us what the logo would look like, and also in their booth, they had some props from the movie, as well as some previews of what the backdrops and backgrounds would look like for Snake Mountain and Grayskull. But that's it so far. The movie comes out next year on the big screen, so they got plenty of time to hype it. But they were focused on the toys, and that's what we'll be talking about. And so, since my interest in Masters Universe is in the Masters Universe Origin line that's re-releasing the vintage characters, we're going to start with that. And we're going to start with our penultimate Horde member that we need to finish the collection, Dragstore. And here he is in all of his glory with a wheel on his chest, a ripcord in the background. And I look forward to getting this guy. And since the Horde is still taking applications, there'll be a new Horde member they'll be releasing on Mattel Creations. And so this is the guy you keep seeing in all of the artwork on the back of the packages. So you're actually going to be able to buy them at some point. So that's pretty cool too. Arguably the biggest reveal was Masters of the Universe and Transformer figures. This is a crossover, and we start with Skeletor / Megatron here. And they've got some really cool kind of retro looking packaging that really combines Transformers and Masters Universe with some really great artwork on the back. So this is going to be something I assume is going to be a retail. I'm not sure. And they've also got Man-at-Arms meets Bumblebee, which is kind of an interesting combination, but it looks really cool. It looks very nice and slick and fresh, and still evocative of both brands and, you know, how we loved them back in the 80s. Also, apparently there's a Castle Grayskull variant you can now order on Amazon. And so this is based on the original Mark Taylor concept art, and it's basically a repaint of, you know, the accessories and the castle itself. But it is going to include the Spaceman, so this is going to be your second chance to get that figure if you want it. Very hard to find. And also, it's going to come with the mat that was originally planned in that concept art. So there's going to be that play mat that you're going to be able to place the castle on. And so that is pretty cool. The original castle retailed for $80. This one is going to be for $125. And so that is a big jump. But you got to remember, this is all existing tooling. And I suspected it would be much higher if they actually had to make the thing new again. And so that brings us to the next thing we're about to talk about. Behold, my friends, the brand new Masters in the Universe Origin Snake Lair. What you're seeing on the left is the front of it. What you're seeing on the right is the back of it when it is folded up in a carrying case form, just like Grayskull, just like Snake Mountain. This is going to be a playset comparable to those for your Snake Men. Here it is fully folded out, and that's the way most of you guys are probably going to display it. And it looks very, very nice. It looks like something we could have gotten from Mattel if the line had continued. And look at that freaking dinosaur skull. That is Battle Bones, kids, from the vintage collection. I love Battle Bones so much. He was this skeleton dinosaur that you could carry your figures in. He was like a carrying case and a vehicle at the same time. I don't know what he's doing here, but I love it. And so if you order early, you can get this wild variant of Lady Slither, and she comes with all her accessories, so you can do her in human form or in snake form. And the stretch goals will be, of course, the snake priest we keep seeing on all the packaging, and this crazy two-headed snake horse for Lady Slither. And here's the inside of the playset, which is just packed with stuff. And so, are you guys hyped for this? Okay, good. Let me crush your hopes and dreams. This thing is $300, and it has to reach a minimum order or it's not going to happen. Now, let me also say this, though. I have seen video after video, comment after comment from San Diego Comic-Con, super hyped about toys that are like 6 inches tall that are like $100. And 12-inch tall figures that are over $200. If you can afford that, you can afford this. And so that is what Mattel is banking on. And so hopefully there are going to be enough of you guys who are high rollers on your action figures, guys who spend $100, $200, $300 to back this and make this a reality. But I'm a super stingy guy. This is too much for me. I want to go back to a time when things were cheaper. Actually, why don't we party like it's 2002? Because Mattel also announced the successor to their current cartoon collection based on Filmation. And yes, they are going to be based on the 2002 Mike Young Productions animated series of Masters of the Universe. And so they do look a little bit bigger than the current Origins figures. And so they said they were going to be compatible with the Origins figures. They still have removable parts that you can use with the existing Origins figures, but the proportions will be a little bit different. They'll actually be a little bit taller, about 6 inches. They compared the proportions to the new Thundercats Masters of the Universe figures they're coming out with. So take a good look at those. They do appear to have legs that are more, human proportions than what we've been getting with the Origins line. And they do stand up straighter. So this is going to be kind of the future of the cartoon collection. And it is absolutely inspired by the animated series. It looks like it jumps straight off of the animation. And so you're going to see a lot of different characters here, including my man Zodak there. But there's also a lot of characters you won't see here. There's no Tila, there's no Stinkor, there's no Too Bad. But I'm sure they've got this planned out for multiple years. And so I'm sure they'll have other waves than what they've been showing to give us more characters. And it's very impressive what they have just shown right off the bat. Like there's just so many major characters, Evil Lyn and all of that. But they're also giving us characters we didn't get in the original line, like, for instance, Clawful here, and also my man, Mossman. I have wanted that 2000X figure of Mossman for so long. This looks like a very, very good line. By the way, Roboto there is missing his gears. He's a work in progress. So this is some very cool stuff. And of course, they also had a bunch of Masterverse stuff, and that Mossman everyone keeps waiting on is finally shown. And so you can see him. He looks like a man of the woods here. Very cool Masterverse Mossman. And of course, Mosquitor. Pixel Dan was freaking out. So the reason you don't see blood in his chest is because he has multiple chest plates. And so you can switch it out for blood in his chest. And so that's going to be really, really cool. And by the way, all of these booth shots are from Pixel Dan's video. These are screenshots, and I always appreciate him going out there and being our eyes and ears. And so you've got your usual suspects for Masterverse. You got Mantenna here. You've got a new version of Anti-Eternia He-Man. And of course, you've got Keldor, and he's going to have his Keldor head, but he's also going to have a freaky face-melting Skeletor head. And of course, you got Force Captain Dora here and a new version of Dragstore. But what I'm really looking forward to is getting my upgraded vintage Dragstore and Masters of Universe Origins. And so there's been so many reveals at San Diego Comic-Con. You can check out my video on the return of Power Lords. They revealed the first 2 Power Lords figures. And I will have a video coming about the new John Carter animated series. They're supposed to show us some footage today. So I'll be doing a video on that. All right, guys, like and subscribe for more videos. And until next time, good journey.